Now, let me talk a little bit about Marian Price. And Marian is being forcibly held against the order of a judge over there in Belfast. And hers is a remarkable story. And one which is kind of caught the public imagination with many people, and quite rightly so. There is no doubt about it that there has been complicity in keeping this woman imprisoned against her lawful rights. And we have had here a tremendous feedback, which Nick has kindly printed off for me. And I'm just going to read out the first names. I'm not going to identify people too much. We wouldn't do that on this program. But we have here one email, for example, from somebody called Finton. Good morning, Finton. Hi, Mike and Tony. I think it's ridiculous that Marian Price's pardon was torn up. Well, so do we, Finton. We cannot understand why the royal pardon has gone missing. But he says he thinks it's ridiculous that Marian Price's pardon was torn up. Her human rights have been violated. We should lobby the Secretary of State with messages and letters until she is released. Well, I agree. In fact, I have written to the Secretary of State myself this past few days, asking or pointing out the circumstances, pointing out that she has been pardoned by a judge or given bail by a judge and given a royal pardon, and yet she's still being held. And to me, that's illegal. I look forward to a reply from him. Another gentleman here, Liam. Good morning, Liam. Dear sirs, very formal, sir, very formal. I would like to extend my personal gratitude to you and associated stations for the recent coverage of Marian Price and her internment at the hands of the government in the north of Ireland. It is with great sadness to me that this kind of internment and torture still goes on in 2012. Marian has held certain beliefs all her life, and today she is being persecuted for them. It is not a crime to hold aloft a piece of paper. No, indeed, and that's all she did. With her health and mental well-being at jeopardy, it is time for her to be released back to her family and friends. It fills me with hope when I see signs of support for Marian in the capital of Yorkshire, I hear of people talking on the streets around England to highlight her plight to an ill-informed nation. Well, sir, we're, of course, down here in the depths of Cornwall, but I'm glad the news is spreading around. Liam goes on to say, the radio station must be commended for playing a vital part in raising the awareness of what is happening only a few hundred miles away across the sea. Yes, it is, and we're obviously well aware that we have very, very close ties with Ireland. I was only actually yesterday showing somebody around one of our churches in Cornwall's Far West, and the church is actually named after an Irish saint. Indeed, could even have been an Irish king. We're well aware of our close connections here in Cornwall with the other Celtic nations, and because of that, many of us, like to keep an eye on what's going on in the other Celtic nations, and we feel an affinity with you. Liam goes on to say it is a testament to the seriousness of Marian's plight that not only are there Irish Republicans and human rights activists fighting the corner, but also people who have never spoken out about brutality previously in other cases. I sincerely hope that we are not discussing Marian's internment for much longer, and she is free to return to her family and friends where she belongs. All the best. Well, thank you very much indeed for that, and I concur entirely with you. Got another one here from Spud. Dear Sir Madam. Well, I don't know who the madam is, Nick. I don't know who the madam is. Good. Who's the madam here, Charlie, eh?
Tony, probably.
Must be Tony. No, must say. Good man. Damn good man. I heard your show talking about the inhumanity which is carrying on in Ireland. I would like to show you a world protest that is going on to bring this to the attention of the world, amongst other protests that are taking place. I've enclosed a copy of a letter that is being distributed across the world, and there is a media sheet, as the media is largely complicit in allowing these sort of things to be carried on. Well, I agree with you. The media of the British Isles and Ireland, and indeed the world, is under very, very close control. Of that, I have no doubt. And that is because it has been allowed to fall into the hands of too few people, and those are incredibly powerful, incredibly wealthy people. And the news is the last thing of interest to them. They have an agenda, and that agenda is far from democratic, has been shown recently with the Murdoch investigation, shall we say, and not to be trusted, not to be trusted. Thank you very much indeed, says Spud, for airing and highlighting everything. The media, TV and newspapers will be getting all this very soon, but I thought I would show you what is happening as you've been good enough to air it. Well, thank you very much indeed, sir. Very kind indeed, and it's good to see some photographs here of Martin Corey. Martin's got a beard almost as fine as my own. And Marian Price right next to him. Two fellow Celts, as far as I'm concerned. And I support fully the UN intervention, and I support fully the right of these people to walk free and to enjoy life in their own country. I will go through the other material between now and our next program, and have a careful read of it. But thank you very much indeed for sending that in, and we shall continue to mention Marian Price on our programs and to invite comments about her, and to invite our listeners to Google her name, Marian Price, and not to forget this chap with a very fine beard, just like my own here. Google his name as well, and get writing. You know, it's free to write on the internet. The gentleman is Martin Corey, Martin Corey. Google those names and have a read, and get writing to your politicians. I guess I must write 2 letters a week to various politicians about one thing or another. It's about all I can do these days, write letters, but I do write a very blunt letter, and usually elicit some response. Now, talking of other Celtic nations, I'd like to play you a piece of music now by a wonderful, wonderful singer, Nolan Corbell, and I met her a few years ago over in Brittany, and she is a Breton singer, and this song is about the end of a relationship, and it's sung in Breton, so away we go.